Hi, I am Jesus Arredondo with Group 6, and I'm going to be walking you through the telemetry case of study. So this case of study is focused on a consulting company that used to give consulting services to a bank, one of the biggest banks in the US. So they had a project with 140 employees in the account. They have testing services that were provided for supporting many of the applications from the customer, and some of the teams also supported little projects for development. They had dedicated servers and network devices deployed for that project since they needed to adjust to compliance requirements. And since this was bank, they everything had to be on premise and very protected. There were a lot of security and compliance requirements for this project. So a little more information about this. We had strong physical security measures that needed to be in place for this project. For example, we had recordings from a CCTV system for 24/7, and we had security guards and all kinds of security things deployed, including a DVR that was recording the storage and the recording the video, and the storage needed for this DVR and needed to have the capacity to have 90 days of recording. Uh, Another thing is we had constant security audits that were performed to this project internally and externally as part of those requirements. And we had to have high resiliency requirements in all of our infrastructure, including the network devices, servers, and we needed to have backups and testing those backups, testing all that resiliency on that infrastructure as part of our business continuity plan. So our infrastructure, we needed to collect logs from different devices, including the following. We had 10 virtual servers, including Active Directory servers, syslogs, SCUM, and we had also to collect some logs from the antivirus, Symantec Endpoint Security. We had 150 workstations, Windows workstations, all of them. We had 10 network devices, including core switches, routers, IDS, IPS, and we had the CCTV and DVR for recording all the entrances and everything that was happening inside the secure area. We had a couple of challenges. Well, we had a lot of challenges with this project. Some of those, so we had slow network connections, especially in the morning when everybody was having meetings with their clients and with their teams in the US. We had problems collecting and storing logs in our syslog server. And we had also some damages to the DVR storage hard disks, and the video recording stopped recording. We had a little storage space on the SCUM server, and we had also a high CPU usage for that server also. So these were some of the challenges that we had. The impact to the project was we had poor service to our customer. We had the inability to prevent infrastructure issues. We had poor compliance levels, and as derived from those poor compliance levels, we had findings raised to us, and that led to the termination of the relationship between our company and the customer. And the customer used to be a diamond customer. That's how they call it, a big customer. The benefits of telemetry. And as I see it, that this project would have benefited a lot from telemetry. Some of the benefits that we can have with telemetry are alerting of possible issues in the infrastructure, easier trace of the root cause of problems, issues that we may be facing, preventing issues by giving alerts before possible trends and things, and proactivity. It would have led our team being proactive more than reactive. I would have, if I would have known about these things before, I would have suggested the use of tools that allowed us to collect metrics. And due to the requirements that we had, so no data could be hosted outside, that could have led to think on third-party tools that could be hosted on premise, and in-house development approved by the client would have been another option. And building dashboards and creating alerts as a part of the solution would have worked really well. And I would like to make an emphasis of analyzing what we need. The metrics that we need is the most important thing. And the tools are good, the logs are good, but the metrics are the most important thing, because we can collect logs, and logs would not tell us what we need to be proactive. So the design of metrics have to be well done for this to work. Some of the useful metrics that I think we could have for this project and the challenges that we were facing could have been network bandwidth usage, to detect when the network was very much used and probably find out what's consuming all this bandwidth to discover it before our users and try to prevent it by adding more bandwidth into the hours that we know that we knew they were using the network the most. We could have had metrics on CPU usage, especially for SCON server that was always consuming a lot of CPU, and seeing what processes were consuming all that CPU to try to optimize that SCON server. Try to have storage usage metrics for the SCON server, because there was this time that we lost the ability to collect logs for Windows servers and Windows workstations, because the SCON server database was full and didn't have a capacity to store more information. And then we could have had some health checks on our DVR and hard disks, since the problem was gradually going from this DVR had 4 hard disks, and it first started by failing one and then other, and then until the 4 had failed, and we couldn't know that until the 4th was the only one working, and we couldn't work as fast to prevent this. So that would have been a good metric for us. Storage usage in the DVR also, because of the requirement that we had to store 90 days worth of video on that DVR. And what could have changed with telemetry? Well, our IT team would have been aware of potential problems on servers with low storage long before we had the problem of the SCON server stopping. We could have detected preventing the DVR from stopping recording, since we would have known when one of the hard disks failed or was about to fail. We could have reacted and bring another one, connecting those cameras to a second DVR or something, doing something. And automatically spend the RAM for the SCON server. Since it was a virtual server, we could have spent the RAM memory, or looking for other ways to optimize our log recollection for those Windows devices. And we could have avoided audit findings that actually ended up impacting on the relationship with the client. And we could have continued with the client, working with this big client, this good client. The conclusion is that telemetry, when applied correctly to our environments, can help us uncover issues that may be affecting our infrastructure, applications, and our end users. We can know what's going on exactly in our environments, so we can act and not just react. And telemetry can make the IT professional's life easier, definitely. We were working long hours, and we took a lot of time to find out many of the issues that we encountered. So telemetry would have been a really good tool for us and for our company. So that's it, and thanks for watching.